Hello, my name is Christian Armstrong, and I'm an emerging speaker who talks about succeeding with autism and overcoming adversity. When I was about 7 years old, around there, I was diagnosed with autism. And for those of you familiar with autism, it's a different area of the brain that works differently. So I remember even before I was diagnosed, I wouldn't be able to look my own mother or father in the eyes. I wouldn't be able to maintain eye contact or look at them. And it was a very big challenge because going to preschool and elementary school in those years of school, it was very hard, very challenging to even just be able to talk to someone or make a friend. And I know it's very ironic with me speaking here on ASPIKA right now, and I appreciate the opportunity so much. But before I even got here today, it's been just this roller coaster ride of how do you even get into the real world, and how do you? It starts with the slow steps and the small wins, because it was doctors who pulled me and my parents into their office when I was diagnosed at around 7 years old, saying my parents with me there. I can barely remember, but it went like, your son won't be able to graduate high school. He won't be able to get a driver's license. He won't be able to go to university. He won't be able to um, pursue his passions and dreams, which was acting, get involved with team sports, now speaking, um, get married, which I did recently. None, even move to a new city, which I'm living in now. Like, none of those things were even possible according to doctors, because they were looking at the stereotypes and labels of autism, where that was back in 2001. We're now living in 2023, where the beauty of it is with social media now, which I'm still learning, and a lot of us still are, but it's being able to share your story like I am now, and just saying that, yes, I can. When all odds are against me, yes, I can. And that's like my story. And I'm saying to you that, yes, you can, because I was doubted. I was told that things aren't possible for you, Christian, that you cannot achieve your dreams, goals, achieve success, because I'm living testament to that here today. And it was so hard. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to know how to understand verbal communication. I wanted to process things like neurotypicals, people who don't have autism. I wanted to be the person who people looked up to, and people who always called my name down the halls in high school. I wanted so badly just to feel like I belonged. And it was the feeling of hopelessness a lot of my years through elementary school, through middle school, through high school. It was this wanting to be someone who I really wasn't, who I wanted to be, but now that I'm that individual who I am right now, being my full self, who I'm meant to be, it just didn't translate when I was younger, because it's that whole idea of autism of, you mask. You mask as someone who you're not. And I'm not saying masking is a bad thing, because I mask all the time. I love acting. I got involved with acting. So, to portray these different characters, I had to mask as someone else, as different characters all the time. And it's not a bad thing, but what I will say masking is it, in a way, I guess it is a teaching lesson, where you can learn how to be these different people, learn how to hide your emotions. And that's what my story is. What I teach is, I teach different perspectives of, masking is being someone of like letting people know that you're versatile, of like portraying someone, but then coming back to your whole self and saying, but that's not me. That was just me for a couple hours. It was it was so many counseling sessions and therapy sessions of me just telling these individuals who are professional counselors of, I don't know who I am, and I went and I'm feeling depressed, and I don't know if I can live on with life because I don't know who Christian Armstrong is. Because Christian Armstrong wants to be the center of attention. Christian Armstrong wants to be liked by people, but it wasn't like that for me in high school because you always have the popular kids. I wasn't popular. But the beauty of that is I wouldn't change my life for the way it was back then because right now I am fully present in who I am. I would not change anything because what I've gone through back then, like seeing counselors, seeing um like failing at numerous obstacles and tasks, and getting getting doubted in team sports, getting doubted on going to university, it's all made me the person I am today because I would not be where I am here right now if it wasn't for getting doubted by doctors, getting diagnosed with autism, getting told by friends, even my own friends doubted my abilities. My own friends. Can you imagine that for a second? Said, I don't know if it's possible, but I did it because the mind is a powerful thing. I I'm not done yet. And I only wish this for you in your life is, what do I call true success? Well, true success is doing something you love and you don't have to ace it. You don't have to be a pro at it because I'm not. Like I said earlier, social media is a game for me. It's I'm learning new things all the time. Um, I say my life's been a roller coaster journey because it has. I when I was when I was about 13, 14 years old, I wanted to play in the NFL, even the CFL for those who know what I'm talking about, Canadians out there. I love sports, but it didn't work out, but that didn't let me lose sight of my dreams. You know, I I wanted to be a professional actor. And believe it or not, I still do. I never lost hope of those dreams, but I remember there was this time where I was going to acting school in Vancouver, here in BC, Canada, a couple of years ago, actually, where I was just severely depressed. And for those who can relate, I wanted to end my life. Because I was so craved on this, I wanted to be the center of attention. I want people to laugh at my different characters, jokes, personalities, where it was this whole rejection game where I wasn't getting in the audition room. I was getting told that your acting isn't good enough, where it lost me mentally and emotionally, where I had to walk away. And what I want to encourage you is it is okay to take a break and walk away sometimes, like what I call in sports terms, time out. It's okay to take a second in the corner and say time out. It's okay because when I took that time out and came here and started watching ASPIKA and motivational videos and learning from speakers, I knew that I had a story to share. I knew that I had a story where it could impact families and kids and students and athletes in the world who are diagnosed with autism, even if you're not diagnosed with autism, that you have a story to share, no matter what your background is or what you've had hardships with or hurdles, that your life has meaning. That, it's funny because having that acting background, that I still see myself sometimes even as this actor on camera, that I see the different tips I've learned from acting, that I know that my acting journey isn't done yet. And the beauty thing about what I'm sharing in my story is just because you take a time out or walk away from something, it doesn't mean that journey or that chapter in your life is over. It just means it's time to take a break and come back to it maybe 10 or 20 years down the road. This journey in autism we've been told too long of autism as a disability. And I'm not saying disability is a bad word, hear me out. Autism might be a disability for a lot of people. It was for me for many years. But what I am offering a new perspective on autism is from the beginning of time, we are told that we have a purpose and we are created equally and different and can impact people at different levels, that we have gifts to share, and our own intelligence, whether you have autism or not, neurotypical, neurodivergent, in your own way. So with that perspective, who's to say that autism is a disability? What if it's just a different way of learning, which I share in my speeches, my talks? I said this in a school, in a setting, and I still say it here today, is if 99% of the world's population was born and diagnosed with autism tomorrow, and was for many years, 99% of the population diagnosed with autism tomorrow for years and years on end, would that not be the new era and the new neurotypical way of learning? Because neurotypicals, yeah, there's more of them. There's a lot more statistically of them, but that's the way it's always been. So we've created neurotypicals and said, that is the way of learning. What I want to encourage you is say that, what if autism is just different? What if it's not bad? What if it's not limited? What if it's limitless? That you're able to learn more, even if it's at a slower pace, if you're able to learn differently. My story has never been easy. In fact, I didn't want to be who I was back then. I thought Christian Armstrong was a failure. I thought Christian Armstrong, I didn't want to be him. I'm proud to be Christian Armstrong, because Christian Armstrong, he never quits. He never gives up when things get hard. And that's my story. What I want to encourage you is, going into your story, is your story impacts people because it's yours. I always say with my story is, if one person hears this here today and it impacts you, well, then that's success. We're so consumed by money, by fame. And would it be nice for my story to reach the ends of the earth? Absolutely. I would love nothing more than that. But if my story can reach just one, that's success. I've always been told by, because I'm sensitive. A lot of people with autism are sensitive. Sensitivity may be weak in the neurotypical old school perspective, but sensitivity means you care and you sympathize for others, for those around you. And if that's not a gift, I don't know what is. You could tell me and say, Christian, like, I don't see how autism is a gift. Like, give me some examples. I'll give you an example. When I was young, still living at my parents' house, obviously, I was watching NFL football, NFL Sundays with my dad on the couch. And he would quiz me. He would say, Christian, tell me where the football's going, which hole through the offensive line, which side of the ball, I could tell you where that football was based upon the quarterback, the running back lining up in the shotgun or the I formation for those football fans out there. 95% of the time, I would just reading it, I would tell you where the ball's going. That's a gift. I'm a hockey fan. I love the Vancouver Canucks. And in the NHL, I could tell you who's playing first line, second line, third line, fourth line for the Vancouver Canucks. Defensive pairings. I could tell you half the AHL farm team roster for the Vancouver Canucks, and people would say, "Oh, well, you could study that, you could memorize that." But not everyone could learn all that. That's a gift. So we got to learn what is that everything is gift according to different people. You know, I teach succeeding with autism. So last but foremost, I want to give you some tips of my story of what helped me succeed with autism, and how I want you to succeed with autism. And you can take it or leave it. Is number one, refrain from using the word "I can't." I know I'm guilty of it. I make mistakes, but we all do it. But the more you don't use the word "I can't" and substitute it with "I can," or maybe even just as simple as "not yet, I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna get there." Number two, always never be afraid to ask for help. No one is Aquaman, Superman, or Wonder Woman here. We can't do things alone. None of us can. I don't care who you are. We succeed better as a community, working together, helping each other succeed when we ask for help. I don't care how many questions you ask. I ask for about 50 questions per day because verbal communication with autism is a struggle for me. I'm a hands-on learner. I learn visually. I ask 9 billion questions all the time, and that's okay. I talk like I'm speaking to you here right now because I asked 9 billion questions when I was 7 years old till now that I'm 29 years old. I'm never afraid to ask how many questions because I want to succeed. Number three is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I know, and I'm good at my own gifts, and you are too. But if you want to get better and you want to push yourself, learn to embrace your fears. It sucks, but that's where I've come here today with my autism here right now. So there's 3 tips I want to leave you with. And I'm sure I have a lot more that I did not mention in this video, but that's where I wanted to get by is autism is only a hurdle. And I can't speak for everyone on autism. All I can speak is on my story. We're all different, and I'm different, and I'm here for different reasons. And I hope that my story inspired you to push you on further, that whatever you've gone through, that you're more than what people say about you, and don't let people label or stereotype you, because you got this. And I believe in you. Thank you for having me, ASPIKA.